All right, so first thing I like to do is just start soaking down the bike really good. Get in the drivetrain, get in the rear suspension, the rear wheel, and the cassette, and just try to get water everywhere. Once I do that, I just grab my sponge and start scrubbing away every spot that you can think of. I use my little brushes to clean right here in the crank because there's a lot of grime that builds up there. And then right here in the rear suspension gets a lot of dirt buildup, so I try to get all that as well. Different brushes help, and you just get in all the little spots that you need to get in. It's real important to get right here in the drivetrain. There's a lot of grime that'll get right there in your cassette and all of your cogs. Washing your wheels, always important. There's lots of dirt that does not want to come off. One of the last most important steps of washing your bike is to make sure that you rinse it all off. Really good, because all that dirt that you just thought you scrubbed off is still there until you rinse it off. If the water dries too fast, all that dirt will still be there, and you won't notice it until after you go to wipe it all down. After you've rinsed and washed and all that good stuff, it's time to wipe it all down. I like to use a microfiber towel as well as a big towel. The bigger towel will get most of the water off, and the microfiber goes in there to get just the last little bits. But when you use towels, you don't always get all the water off. So at that point, that's when I roll it into the garage, put it back on the stand, and then I get my air compressor out and just start spraying it down everywhere. The air compressor helps to get all the little spots that you can't really see. It'll blow all the water out of all the little nooks and crannies in there. And as you can see right here, I didn't get my forks rinsed off enough. I mean, after spending all this money on a really nice bike, you definitely want to keep it in tip-top shape so that you know every time you take it out, it will perform to its potential like you need it to. I mean, we don't spend all this money on a really nice mountain bike just to trash it. Well, at least I don't, because I can't afford it. This is the part where I detail my drivetrain. I take this brush with the bristles and just crank through and get every little piece of dirt out of there. And let's just face it, without a clean drivetrain, basically your bike is just a worthless hunk of either carbon fiber or aluminum. And the last thing I do is clean my rotors. Blow air through them first, and then I use rubbing alcohol that I got from the Dollar Tree and blue towels, and I wipe them down. Get all the impurities off of them, make sure there's no grease, no soap, no residue of anything, and then that's pretty much it. So all the tools I use to clean my bike, I bought off Amazon. They had a kit on there that was for bike washing, so I just picked that up. It was about $15 to $20, I don't remember. I'll put a link in the description below. And it came with these little brushes right here to get in those little hard to reach spots. These have been like the best part of it, because when you're trying to clean out little areas in your forks and your rear suspension, there's little nooks and crannies that are hard to get to. This helps out a lot. I use this brush right here to clean the rear cassette to get those little hard to reach spots because all that grease likes to stick. They also have this little tool right here. It gets really into that grime that's in your cassette, and it just like scrapes it right out. You also get one of these to scrub everything. That's what I use, and it works pretty good. All this stuff's pretty good. So this little thing also came in the kit as well. It's a chain cleaner. You basically take it apart, take the little lid off of this. It's got little brushes inside. I don't know if you can see them. Little brushes. Yeah, little brushes in there. And basically you put your chain in there. The little sprocket inside here is what the chain rides on, and then the brushes, as you're turning the crank, it'll make these little wheels turn so it can clean your chain pretty well. What I found this thing to be most useful for is to actually lube your chain. So at the top of this, there's a little hole right here. These little holes, you can put your chain clean in there. And what I do is I just put lube in there, and then it lubes up my chain pretty good. And I like it. It works. I mean, I wouldn't say this is the best tool in the kit. I would say the brushes are the best thing, but you know, try to use it at least because it's something that came with it. So, but you know, little tool comes with it. It's a bonus. You can use it or not use it. I don't know. I used it. It's pretty cool. As far as the products that I use for cleaning, I just use some regular dish soap that you can pick up at the grocery store, honestly. I use about 2 tablespoons to fill this bucket up with water, and for me that works pretty good. I've read online it's safe to do that, so that's what I've been doing so far. I should probably eventually pick up some nice bike cleaner, but that stuff is really expensive, and when you're on a budget sometimes it's better to use what you got, so that's what I do. As far as the chain clean and chain lube that I use right now, it's this stuff that I picked up from Walmart. I'm not really happy with it. I feel like it doesn't lubricate the chain very well. It cleans okay, but I'm just not really happy with the combination, so I'll be replacing this into something else that's better. Another thing to protect your bike, besides cleaning it, is frame protectors. And they're basically these thick stickers that you can put on your bike, and they protect your frame from getting all scratched up. Well, they're kind of pricey at times. They go anywhere from, I've seen them from $40 to $100. But the cool thing that exists is called Gorilla Tape. This stuff is cheap. It's $5. You can get it at Walmart. My buddy MTBlifestyle has a channel on YouTube, and he was the one who demonstrated how to put this on. I'll put a link in the description below on how he did it. Thanks for the tip, buddy. I'm gonna show you how to put it on your bike right now. Well, it's pretty easy. You just take a big strip of tape, put it along the frame where you want it, gradually stick it, cut it with a pair of scissors, and then gently, bit by bit, fold it over until it's completely stuck on the frame. I mean, it's a fairly simple process that anybody could do. And I just try to put it on all the spots that I feel like could be potentially places that are going to get scratched up. Mostly on the rear, because I just feel like that's where all the bad stuff happens. If you crash or rocks are flying around, that's where mostly everything is going to be hitting your frame. And then underneath right here as well is where a lot of rocks like to hit your frame. I just discovered something totally rad that I didn't know existed. So right here, there's this little lock symbol, and it was a little push button. I couldn't figure out what it was for. It all makes sense now. Ready for this? Check it out. So this little button right here has a lock on it. And when you push it, it's like kind of squishy. So let me disengage it real quick so you can see it. Sitting like this, and then all you do is you push this down and then push the button in, and then it locks it so your chain's loose, and now you can pull your chain off. And now you have a loose chain that you can pull right off. I had no idea this existed. This is so rad. Look at that. Oh my God, I love it. Didn't even know. So that's how you wash your bike and put some frame protection on a budget. And if anybody else has any ideas on how to do stuff like this on a budget, go ahead and leave some comments below and let me know what else you got. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. And if you like what we do here on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That's it for today. I'm Eric from Riding Dirty, and always remember, start small and go huge.